Welcome to Taverns and Caverns, everyone. This is your dungeon master, Haphazard DM, and we will be starting Path B of Season 3 today. So thank you, everyone, for tuning into Taverns and Caverns. For those that are new, we will be continuing a story from Season 1. Season 2 actually took place on a whole another continent known as a Shy, with a completely different cast of characters. But in season one, we had a party formerly, well, I don't want to say formally, they were and still are known as Cat and Co. However, for season three, we're changing things up a bit, as I've mentioned in the last episode for Path A. Season three will be following two paths, as I've mentioned plenty of times, and I'm sure for our returning listeners, you are well aware of what happened last episode in Path A. But for today, we'll be starting episode one of season three for Path B, which is going to split off into a different direction for two different characters. Primarily, we'll be following Cat, also known as Nomu, from the group Cat and Co., who will be going on a long journey, which I will get into details here momentarily. But before we begin, I want to thank and welcome two returning players from season one and also season two. First up, we have our player Robert, who is playing Nomu the Monstrous. Hello, Rob. Thanks for joining us this day. I appreciate you returning for season three. I hope you are excited to get back into Nomu's shoes after playing Hota Lube. How does it feel?
It feels good to be back to my boy.
Yo, boy, you open up that character sheet, you're like, damn, I forgot this constitution was low as hell.
Oh, I was crestfallen. Sad.
But, with you being back in Nomu's shoes, we're going back into old familiar territory and old familiar allies and enemies and potential future enemies. Well, I guess not a future enemy for Nomu, but we all know, for those that listened in season one, Nomu does have an antagonist that lives on the continent of Tyrstar that goes by the name of Butterfriend.
Oh God.
Perhaps Butterfriend will show his face this season.
I
We
hope
will
not.
see.
Lord Butterfriend.
Lord Butterfriend, that is right. And last but not least, Rod, thank you again for joining us. I know you started in season two, but you're now in season three in both Path A and B. And you'll be playing a second character for Path B. You won't be playing your paladin from Path A, obviously, since the characters are off doing different things. But in this fun season, you'll be playing a character known as Yelar, which I'll give you both the opportunity to describe your characters for any new listeners that will be tuning in on season three as their first season. And again, for our new listeners, yes, this season follows the story afterwards of what took place in season one, but season three is still going to have its own story to itself. So you're not going to have to necessarily go back and listen to all of season one to really enjoy this season, but you're going to possibly miss out on some inside jokes and some references from season one if you did not listen to season one. But don't let that scare you away. You can start Taverns and Caverns fresh and new with season three and still enjoy it. And again, season two is a completely different cast, completely different story. You can also start at season two if you'd like. But before we get going, let's allow Robert and Rod to give us a quick description of their characters as far as how they look, what classes they're playing, what the race is. And from there, we'll go ahead and start this episode. So before we get going, though, I want to let the listeners know that again, I am in the process of creating Taverns and Caverns campaign setting book. So all of the story and lore that takes place in the podcast is going to be canon in the campaign setting book. But because I am creating a campaign setting book, I am doing everything on the podcast home brewed. So when we first started the podcast, I was using, you know, uh, races, classes, things of the sorts, some tiny bits and pieces of lore from D&D 5th edition core books. But because I want to make my own campaign setting book for the podcast, I'm trying to shift away from that stuff and I'm recreating certain lore and races and whatnot to fit the homebrew setting. And yes, Taverns and Caverns is story-wise all homebrewed. Nothing is from any of the campaign setting books that you can grab out there. It's all made up by this team. Ain't that right, Rob?
Oh yeah.
You understand completely.
Absolutely.
But I think that's what makes it fun for me as a dungeon master. I enjoy coming up with my own homebrewed lore. It makes it more fun. So I enjoy it. But okay. So with Robert, who was playing Nomu, his character was a Tabaxi, or I should say is a Tabaxi, but obviously because we're going homebrew, his race is going to be called something different. The Tabaxi in the world of Reverie. We're currently going to be playing on the continent of Tirister. So the Tabaxi are now known as the Dakina or the Catfolk. And Rod is playing a Tortle, and instead of Tortle, the turtle people here in Tirister are known as Shalonians. So I'll allow the two players here to now describe their characters, what their characters are, the class, and etc. So we'll start with Rob. He is our veteran from season one. Rob, can you give us a quick description of Nomu, the monstrous?
Oh yeah. Nomu the Monstrous is a very muscular 6'5" white Bengal, Dakina. And normally Dakina are slender. Not this cat folk. My boy's buff. All right, he wears a tattered brown cloak and leather armor, and he has emerald green eyes. Weighing 210 pounds, and he's 20 years old.
That's a big cat.
White fur and black stripes.
With no constitution.
No constitution.
I'm curious, what is your constitution?
Good question. It's a 0.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Well, his bonus is a 0. His actual
Yeah.
con, I think, is a 10.
Yeah, it's a 10.
Oh no.
Yes, and he is Cat and Co.'s fighter, aka their tank.
Yep.
Oh. Well, thank you, Robert. Rod, let's describe your character for the audience.
Well, this Shaloran is 6 foot, looks like a snapping turtle. Think of Toka from Ninja Turtles Secret of the Ooze.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Yes.
He wears a cloak. After from the last side story he was in, it's a lot cleaner. He wears a dark cloak now. It's not speckled with rusted brown reddish colors of it anymore.
Mhm.
Since last time you left him, he lost his powers for a little bit after trying to learn more magic. So he ended up going to a wizard and teaching him magic again. So it's a lot cleaner. And his staff now is just a regular, well, it's the same quarterstaff, but no longer Bog is there. He learned to put him to rest after he went with this wizard. He did get his powers back after his benefactor and him made a deal to try to, because he missed that power. But like I said, he's 6 foot, about 350.
Big boy.
Yeah, he is. Well, that shell carries a lot of weight. Pretty much that's it for now.
All right. Well, thank
So.
you, Rod. And again, as you listeners have heard, both of them are playing characters from prior seasons. Technically, Rod's character is from a side story that took place during season 1, towards the end of season 1, actually. If you guys want to hear more about Yelar's backstory, definitely check out Taverns and Caverns side stories, The Sorceress of Valoria. I believe it's 10 to 11 episodes, if I remember correctly, and that is where Yelar is introduced into the podcast, whereas Nomu starts from episode 1 of season 1. So Nomu has been around for quite some time, and you both are fucking tall. Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah.
You're both 6 feet and above. God damn.
Bigman.
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 Yep, Bigman.
Well, all right. Thank you both for describing your characters. And and for the audience, since it's a continuation of season 1 and a side story, the characters are level 7 starting off for season 3. So, with that being said, we won't be throwing easy pickings at our characters here. They'll be fighting some tough stuff going forward from this point on because they are level 7. And yes, I'll throw some chumps every now and then because obviously the
Mhm.
land of Tyrster has goblins, kobolds, and all the sorts of, you know, thugs and whatnot. But in the most part, for the main battles, there are going to be difficult opponents, and it's going to be fun. And I hope you both are ready.
Oh yeah.
I'm
Hmm.
sure Nomu's ready for more kobolds.
I'm ready for chumps and lead the kobolds out, all right?
Yeah, we don't
Yeah,
talk about the kobolds, man.
yeah, Yelar doesn't want to hear about the kobolds. I'll
Oh,
tell you
that's
that.
right. There's no one to even me out.
No, there's not. At
Oh
least
no.
not. At least not yet.
Oh no.
So I'll go ahead and describe the beginning and everything of season three's Path B. So as our listeners that have listened to Path A's episode 1, it's going to start off almost exactly the same description, except for the last part of it. It's going to shift to focus on Nomu because that is what's happening. So, to the both of you, I'm going to go ahead and describe what happened last in season 1, what's happened since season 1, and what is happening now. So,
All
let
right.
me go ahead and get this started. Approximately 4 months have gone by since the gruesome battle between Archibald de Darkmoor and the adventurers known as Cat and Co. Thanks to Cat and Co., Archibald's vision of sacrificing the nation of Dorwyn to obtain the status of Demon Lord had failed horribly. With the help of Avirus de Darkmoor and her entourage, the adventurers took Archibald head-on within the walls of his mansion during his demonic ritual. However, victory did not come without heavy costs to the adventurers. Several allies had fallen during battle, which devastated the adventurers, crushing their morale and hopes for celebration despite being victorious. The adventurers left Dorwyn soon after to return to the nation of Londe in hopes of finding a way to resurrect one of their fallen. With the fall of Archibald and his 2 children, Vanya and Badger, the Darkmoor family estate is now commanded by Avirus de Darkmoor. Unable to truly cover up her father's atrocities, Avirus has accepted that her family name's reputation has forever been tarnished. However, the opinions of those on the outside have always mattered little to her. As promised, the adventurers have not seen or heard from her since. All that is known about her is that she is committed to rebuilding the trust in her family name by any means necessary, as we all know how Avirus de Darkmoor is. After their long journey from the city of Wolfpine to the capital city of Stratham, the adventurers had hoped to visit the Cathedral of the Octatic Divine with the goal of reviving their fallen comrade, Elroy Halfkins. Unfortunately, the cost of resurrecting someone is terribly expensive and is typically rare in the world of reverie. Despite gaining hefty funds from Avirus, the adventurers were out of luck due to the cathedral not having one of the required materials to perform the ritual of resurrection. A vial of sap procured from the great Vitalis tree located in the nation of Osia would be required. This sap happens to be the most important ingredient necessary when attempting to resurrect a person, and it is commonly known as the elixir of life. Due to this predicament, the cathedral has offered to preserve Elroy's body for a cost, which would allow the adventurers time to seek out the elixir. However, before being able to plan their next move, the adventurers received a message from Emon Vanellis, the current guildmaster of the Adventurers Guild located in New Tempest, who had requested their immediate presence. Split between the decision of reporting to the Adventurers Guild or traveling south to obtain the elixir, the adventurers had decided to temporarily split ways. Nomu the Monstrous and Ediar de Sonne would travel to Rava's Grove to procure the elixir of life, while Isundra, Damien, Yaito, and Yatari would travel westwards towards the city of New Tempest. Rogar had agreed to stay in Stratham for the time being to oversee that Elroy is properly supervised by the cathedral, while Garasha had chosen to report back to the Adventurers Guild to continue her work. Many weeks have now gone by since the adventurers decided to split ways. After arriving in the southern town of Riverhall, where Cat & Co. had originally fought Vanya de Darkmoor, Ediar becomes aware of an unforeseen situation. While Nomu and Ediar took time to rest in Riverhall, Ediar received a dire message from his house, a message of grave importance and urgency. that would force Ediar to have to part ways with Nomu. With much regret, Ediar departs for House Dasone, leaving Nomu alone in retrieving the elixir of life. Now alone on this mission, Nomu finds himself gathering his thoughts before he moves southwards towards the border of Lande. So with that, I have given the history of what happened last in Season 1 and what has transpired between Season 1 up to this point. I hope everything has made sense to you, Rob, for Nomu,
Yep.
why Nomu is separated from the rest of the party. And I don't know if you remember the name Iman Vanellis, but he was the guild master that Cat and Co spoke with in Season 1 in regards to the remains of Xandos, the Dragon Lord.
Oh yeah.
Iman Vanellis was the elven fighter guild master that you guys confided with in terms of finding the great Dragon Lord's remains. And during your conversations with him, the party was caught between two options of telling Iman Vanellis the truth about Avirus de Darkmoor and the Skull Reaver, or not telling him. And the party had decided to not give him all the details about Avirus. So Iman Vanellis is not aware of the happenings of what happened in Archibald de Darkmoor's mansion during that final battle of Season 1. Now, the world knows of Archibald de Darkmoor's death and the fact that Archibald de Darkmoor was doing some ritualistic, shady business in his mansion, but no one truthfully knows that he was attempting to become a demon lord. He was attempting to sacrifice the entire nation of Dorwyn in order to become a demon lord. And that has already happened before, once on the continent of Tyrster, in the territory to the southwest known as the Decaying Wastes. As we learned in Season 1, it used to be a thriving nation known as Rakunra until one of the goblinoids there offered Rakunra as sacrifice to become a demon lord. And that is why Rakunra is now a place known as the Decaying Waste. It is filled with demons, devils, and minions of the Underdark, or not Underdark, but the Hells themselves. So, Kanko was able to stop Archibald de Darkmoor from doing that. It's just no one knows that you guys did that. You're secret heroes.
It's an isolated event.
Yes, it was. And Avirus has obviously kept it quiet, and she has taken up the mantle and has become the sole family member of her house. So she now owns everything that her siblings and father did.
Lucky
So,
her.
hey, she kept her promise. She didn't contact Cat and Co ever since. It's been 4 months since the battle of Season 1. So this session, Robert, I should say Nomu, you started your journey heading south to Rava's Grove. Rava's Grove is one of the major cities in the nation of Osia. Osia is the great forest nation of Tyrster. It is known to house the Vitalis tree. The Vitalis tree is where all life began. It is where the goddess herself, Reverie, planted the Vitalis tree. And through the Vitalis tree, seeds that sprouted from the branches that soon fell onto the ground. Each seed that had fallen was a particular race. So the Vitalis tree is the beginning of time for all mortals on the land of Tyrster. Each continent has its own Vitalis tree. And if you guys remember in Season 2, the very center of the map, which was called Moritai's Maelstrom, after Moritai had attacked Ashai, that's where Ashai's Vitalis tree was located. Ashai no longer has a Vitalis tree. So the druids of Osia protect this tree. It is of utter importance to them. Unfortunately, in the world, the Vitalis tree has no longer sprouted new seeds to create new races. It has stopped, and it has been that way for many, many years now. However, the Vitalis tree still stands incredibly high. It is like a mountain. Think of the Yggdrasil tree. It is massive. You can see it from the other nations.
Damn.
Yes. That's how big it is. And the Druids of Osia, they keep it and maintain it. It is a sacred place. No one is allowed to just step foot in. It is a place that only the druids that deem worthy are allowed to step in there. So, again, that place is called Rava's Grove, and that's where Nomu is making his way. But Nomu is still in the nation of Lande. You're making your way south, and you have to go through the border to get into Osia. But before you get to the Great Forest part of Osia, you have to cross a territory known as Strider Valley. Now, I have included maps in both of your journals. If you go to your journals on Roll20, you should see there's handouts. One's called Map of Tirister, which is the entire continent. One's called Map of Lande, which is of the nation. And there should be one called the Map of Osia, which I just placed in there now.
Yep.
Do you have those maps for your personal use?
Yep.
Perfect. So if you look at the map of Osia, you're going to see its borders Lande. The south of Lande goes right into Osia, but there is the territory known as Strider Valley. That is where the home of giants and the Oronkin, which in this world of Reverie, the Oronkin are half giants. That's where they live. It is I don't want to say treacherous, but it is a dangerous valley to cross through if you are not knowledgeable of the locals as well as the terrain in the area.
Mhm.
Giants are indeed dangerous. They're fucking giants. They will crush you. So if you're not careful and you don't know the right ways to travel, you can find yourself in a pinch. So Nomu, go ahead and roll me a history check. I just want to see how much your character knows of Strider Valley.
You got it.
That is a 6.
Ooh.
And this makes sense. Nomu has never been to Osia. So this makes good sense. Nomu originated from Bracana and Estelle de Wien. You've never been to Osia, so you don't know much about Strider Valley or Osia itself. All you know is you're trying to revive your dead friend Elroy Hafkins, and you have to get the elixir of life to do so. You know where to get it. That's all you know.
Yep.
So you'll be traversing without much knowledge of Osia or the Strider Valley, but you are aware you have to go through Strider Valley. That's common knowledge. It's on the maps. But we are in Riverhall again, home of the Arcane Delights Brewery from season 1, where Cat and Co. did battle with Vanya de Darkmoor. But in Riverhall, Nomi, you find yourself after Ediar abruptly had to leave you due to some urgency with his house. Nomu, you find yourself in a tavern known as the Jagged Clarinet. It's mid-afternoon. Ediar had recently left a couple hours prior. You find yourself sitting in this tavern. You're still resting from your travels from the capital city of Stratham. You've made your way south. It's been many, many days since you left Stratham. And now you find yourself alone in the tavern. There are plenty of people surrounding you, though, at their own tables. But you're taking this moment to have lunch and gather your thoughts of what your next steps are going to be. So with that being the case, as you're sitting there at, I would assume either a table or at the bar. Table. All right. As you're sitting there at the table after Ediard left, the bartender sees you sitting there alone, and he walks up to you. He's cleaning this glass. It's a dwarf with a giant, puffy red beard, long, braided red hair. He's got an eye patch. He's got a scar over his remaining eye. He looks rugged, like he's seen combat. He's got scars over both of his biceps and his arms. He's got a sleeveless shirt right now, but he's cleaning this glass also delicately as he's looking down at you as he walks over. Oi, you haven't ordered a thing since you've sat there. Is there anything I can get you, lad?
Yes. Get me a leg of mutton and a bowl of milk.
Interesting. A leg of mutton and a bowl of milk. That'll cost you about 3 gold, good sir.
He slaps the gold down on the table and slides it towards him.
Would you like a little bit of alcohol in that milk? You know, like some alcoholic eggnog?
No. I'm good. Thank you.
I missed that. No. The dwarf, he just grins. Very well. Well, he raises his hand. He looks over at one of the workers behind the bar. Bowl of milk and a mutton for our Dakina brother over here. The dwarf looks back at you. That'll take a few minutes to get. Thank you for the gold, good sir. Now, you look like you're lost. I saw you step in here a few hours ago with your friend. Seems like he's went on his own way. So, what are you doing in the town of Riverhall? Anything? Are you an adventurer? You a merchant? You look like a combatant with that giant sword strapped on your back. Seems like you've seen combats. Me too. I like to talk to the patrons that come here at the Jagged Clarinet. It's good for business. I make friends with the people that come here. Tell me about yourself, Takina. Where do you come from? What travels are you heading to?
I come from Brecana. Where I come from exactly does not matter. I'm looking for something.
Oh, what is this something?
Rava's Grove. The Vitalis tree.
He whistles. The Vitalis tree. Have you ever been to Rava's Grove, let alone the nation of Osia?
No.
Mm. Well, what are you searching for at Rava's Grove?
An elixir, so to speak.
An elixir? Hmm. And the Vitalis tree sounds like you're looking for what's called the elixir of life. The sap of the Vitalis tree, is that correct?
Yeah, that's the one.
You do know that's an incredibly rare and expensive thing, not easy to come by, let alone getting to the Vitalis tree. Yes, you can see it from our current location. It's very far. It's a massive tree, but there's only a specific area of the tree you can collect the sap. The druids there will stop you before you get even miles within reach.
I'm sure we can work something out. They won't bar my passage.
Hmm. Well, my dear friend, I hope you make the right decision. The druids there are very strict when it comes to the rules and what they do to protect the tree. And they don't just take money either when it comes to allowing people to get the elixir of life. Which means you're attempting to revive somebody. Is that right?
Could be.
Hmm. Well, I'm not trying to pry into your business. I'm just trying to give you advice. A lot of travelers come through here seeking adventure. As you know, Riverhall is the most southern town next to the borders going into the Strider Valley of Osia. Many of you young Thundercats come through here thinking you're tough shit. But let me tell you, crossing the Strider Valley is no easy task. You do know it's home of the giants, yes?
Yeah, so I've heard. But I am Nomu the monstrous. I could be a giant as well.
Well, for a Dakina, you sure are tall and you sure are beefy as hell. But those giants are still triple, quadruple your size. If you're not careful, you'll be surrounded by hill giants, maybe fire giants if you're unlucky. And let me tell you, most of those giants, they don't look pleasantly upon people in their territory. Do you have a
Fair
map of
enough.
Strider Valley, boy?
Do I have a map?
You currently do not.
No, you have a spare on you?
I have a map of Strider Valley that might help you. Obviously, I can't give it away for free, but it definitely has specific safe zones and locations that you'll be able to follow if you'd like to purchase one from me.
How much are you talking?
Oh, I mean, these maps are, I have plenty of them. I'm not trying to rip you off or anything, good lad. Just trying to make sure you don't die. Look, I'm a soldier, or at least I was. That was a long time ago. I've seen many young lads die at my side in the middle of combat. I fought a giant or two in my time as well, and I don't want to see any more travelers and adventurers succumb to the giants of Strider Valley, unless, it's for good reasons. But and before we continue, we interrupt this campaign with breaking information just for you adventurers. I love smoothies, but I don't love smoothie bar prices. With my BlendJet 2 portable blender, I can make smoothie bar quality beverages for a fraction of the price. BlendJet 2 is portable, so you can blend up a smoothie at work, a protein shake at the gym, or even a margarita on the beach. It's small enough to fit in a cup holder, but powerful enough to blast through tough ingredients like ice and frozen fruit with ease. BlendJet 2 is whisper quiet, so you can make your morning smoothie without waking up the whole house. It lasts for 15 plus blends and recharges quickly via USB-C. Best of all, BlendJet 2 cleans itself. Just blend water with a drop of soap and you are good to go. And with over 30 colors and patterns to choose from, there's a BlendJet 2 to complement just about any style. Just like Rogar, I rock the Champagne Metallic because I'm a certified badass. Well, maybe not as much as Rogar, but y'all get the point. What are you waiting for? Go to blendjet.com and grab yours today. And be sure to use promo code TavernsCaverns12 to get 12% off your order and free 2-day shipping. No other portable blender on the market comes close to the quality, power, and innovation of the BlendJet 2. They guarantee you'll love it or your money back. Blend anytime, anywhere with the BlendJet 2 portable blender. Go to blendjet.com and use the code TavernsCaverns12 to get 12% off your order and free 2-day shipping. Shop today and get the best deal ever. And with that being said, let us now continue with our adventure. I'll sell you a map for 5 gold. It'll give you the towns that are safe and the areas to avoid, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, fine. Here.
Slides in the gold.
He smiles, and as he smiles, another worker comes around the dwarf. It's a human. He places the mutton and the bowl of milk right there on the table. And you see the dwarf look up at the human. Fetch me one of the maps for Strider Valley. The young lad here is going to need it. He takes the 5 gold and then the 3 gold for the meal.
Yep.
And the dwarf just smiles. First things first. What's your name, boy?
Nomu, the monstrous.
Nomu the Monstrous. That's really your name, Nomu the Monstrous. I thought you were joking.
What's wrong with it?
Nothing. Usually you don't hear someone give themselves a title for their full name. It's just Nomu, not Nomu the Monstrous.
There's
Right.
Nomu the monstrous.
Okay. Is the your middle name? Monstrous your last?
He does have an actual name too.
Does he really? I don't think
Yeah.
I've heard it.
I have it in my lore somewhere.
Oh, Jesus.
We'll see if I can find it sometime.
We'll have to bust that out sometime.
Hmm.
The dwarf just smiles. Well, Nomu the Monstrous. While my workers there grabbing that map for you, let me tell you this. Follow the main road south. You'll hit the gate, the border gate of Londe. There'll be guards there, Londe military, making sure people going in and out of Londe obviously are not by any means trying to do any shady business. Are you an adventurer from the Adventurers Guild?
I've worked with them.
Which means you're an adventurer of the guild, so you have a badge. When you come across the borders, you're going to want to show the soldiers your badge. That will allow you to pass through. Most adventurers of the Adventurers Guild are able to access the border with ease, unless there's a situation that is too dangerous that the soldiers deem. So, with that badge, you should be able to get through. Second thing, follow the main road after you leave Londe. It goes straight south through Strider Valley. Now, you can stay on the main road. It'll get you to the safe havens, the safe towns of Strider Valley. However, following the main road, obviously, calls for thugs, thieves, bandits, and whatever to target travelers on the main road. So it's your choice. I suggest possibly following the main road for the most part. You don't want to find yourselves in the mountains of Strider Valley where there's wyverns, harpies, and such. Giants aren't the only thing you have to worry about. But if you keep following the southern road, there are 2 safe havens you'll see on the map that I'm about to give you. One's a small village. That village is a safety place for many travelers to make a pit stop. and that village is known as Ormsa. The people there, mostly Orinkin or half-giant, are very friendly to travelers. They take gold just like anyone else. You'll be able to buy a place to sleep, buy food, and resupply there. That is the closest place you're going to find that is safe near the border of Lande. Although, when I say closest, it's many days out from the border of Lande once you pass those gates. Further deep into Strider Valley, the very center of the area, there is a town much bigger than Ormsa. It is known as Manavik. Very big town. Many travelers stop there and merchants. You'll find anything you need there. You'll be safe there. The Orinkin and friendly giants keep that place safe. Yes, there are many giants that are friendly. Not all are bad. But definitely make sure you stop by Manavik because you'll be able to rest there and get resupplies. After Manavik, you're on your own. You'll have to go to the closest town, which is in the great forest of Osia, known as Wild Run. Once you hit Wild Run, keep heading south, and you'll eventually get to Rava's Grove. On foot, I'm assuming you're making this journey. It's going to take you, I'm going to assume, a couple months. This is not an easy journey, my friend. Are you sure you're prepared?
What else can I do? I'm prepared enough.
Well, prepared enough doesn't cut it. I would suggest you look for someone around here that might be able to help you out and travel with you, a companion of sorts. Find someone around here. I'm sure there's an adventurer just like you young Thundercat, looking to travel south to the Rava's Grove. Many people go to Osia from here. I'm sure you'll be able to find someone to tag along on your journey, at least temporarily, to keep your back safe, if you know what I mean. It's dangerous to go alone.
Fine. I'll take your advice.
Good. Just trying to make sure you don't die out there, lad. And as he says that, the worker comes with the map. He hands the dwarf the map. The dwarf slowly hands Nomu the map. It is wrapped up with a seal. Here you go for the 5 gold. Go ahead and open it up if you don't believe me. I'm not trying to rip you off, but that's going to be a detailed map of Strider Valley, my friend.
He unrolls it, flicks it a little bit.
As you look at Strider Valley, you can look at the map of Osia that I gave you. You see, I will give you a much more detailed map of Strider Valley next session.
Mm-hmm.
But for now, Nomu, you can see that, for the most part, the main path that goes through the valley, you just travel either north or south. Strider Valley it's a valley. You have mountains on the west and the east of the main valley. There's not much direction you can go. But things do happen in Strider Valley. Many people go and don't make it out because it is a dangerous place. It's not technically governed by anyone, although it's part of the nation of Osia. As the lore says here in Tirister, or as I know, Osia is not technically a nation that has a full-on military or anything of the sorts. They are more so, I said they don't really have a government style. The closest thing to a government type of style you can think of that Aussie would have would be socialism. Now,
They got a committee.
they technically do. So there's no king, queens, there's no presidents, no governors, nothing of the sorts. But the land of Osia is run by the druids of Osia. And the druids are technically the wardens of Osia. Now, there are 5 clans, or I should say 5 sects of druid clans in Osia that oversee the entire nation. They protect it together. Now, they are known as the branches of Osia. There are 5 branches. Each branch is formed of different types of druids. Now, they're all neutral with each other. They're not enemies with one another. They work together. They may not be friendly with another, like super friendly or anything like that, but they definitely work together to keep Osia safe. And they are known as the 5 branches of Osia. And then there is a major group of 3 great druids known as the Viridian Enclave. And there are the 3 that make up the Viridian Enclave are basically where the wardens of each druid sect goes to if shit hits the fan. So the Grand Wardens, there's three of them. They are the ones that encompass the Viridian Enclave. The Viridian Enclave is housed at Rava's Grove. So they're technically like your Great Wardens, your mystical, old, ancient wardens that the five wardens that run the branches of Osia will go to if they need guidance.
Mhm.
So again, I know I just said a lot there. I'm spitting a lot of lore out, but yes, so Osia doesn't have a government, but they are protected by the five branches of Osia, which are the five sects of druids. Um, so if that answers your question there, what was I saying before that? Shit, I just went on a tangent. But anyways, sorry, the dwarf, he gives you that map and he just smiles. Well, I'll allow you to enjoy your meal and your milk. I'll leave you be. He looks around. There looks like there's a couple of travelers around here that might join you. Perhaps, seek one out. And he turns around to go back to the bar as he's still cleaning that glass, leaving Nomu to himself. Nomu, what are you doing?
He starts attacking that mutton like he's an animal in the wild, licking the milk out of the bowl savagely.
And Yelar, you are in this tavern sitting nearby. Make me a perception check.
Okay.
All right, your perception is 8. You definitely, I mean, you didn't fail by any means. You're close to Nomu. You see him going to ham on that mutton. You see the great sword on his back. But with an 8, you didn't hear the entire conversation that he was having with the dwarf. You heard parts of it though. You did hear that Nomu was heading south to Rava's Grove, but that's really all you really heard with a perception of 8.
Okay.
Do you do anything with that knowledge, or do you keep to yourself?
Uh, Pretty much thing that's really going to stick out to him. Excuse me, sir.
He licks the milk to get the taste of meat out of his mouth.
Yes,
Were you raised in a swamp?
the desert lands of Blacana.
Well, you sure ain't like a wild ogre. Did anyone
Thank you.
teach him? That wasn't a compliment.
Fucking Winnie the Pooh.
Anyone teach you table manners?
What's that?
Oh my God, I thought I was. Shouldn't eat like that.
Eat like what?
There's things called a knife and fork. Use those to cut things and chew it, not so loudly like your knee muck in muddy water.
Takes another bite.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh God.
He's smacking. There's meat hanging out of off his fangs.
He will call over the bartender and he'll ask for some coffee.
Okay. The dwarf comes over. Ah, looks like you found a friend there. Nomu the monstrous. Need like a coffee. What's your name, good sir?
Name's Yelar, sir.
One coffee. You like it decaffeinated? Do you like it strong? Do you like it medium? How do you like it?
The strongest you got.
Ah, I can do that. Well, I'll go grab you a cup of coffee while you two young lads have a conversation.
I was wondering if you could teach this cat here some table etiquette.
Well, this is a tavern, and the jagged clarinet isn't known for teaching proper etiquette here. So I'm afraid that's going to be on you, good sir, and not myself.
I mean, have you seen this man eating?
I definitely do.
Might scare off some of your customers.
Now, we wouldn't want that, but him eating like that, probably a good thing. It means it tastes good, which might make some of the customers want one.
I agree.
Fair point.
The bone is clean. He leans back in his chair and slaps his belly.
Would you like another?
No, I think I got it.
Very well. All right, then I'll go get you that coffee. He turns around and he walks off, leaving the two of you there. You continue to have a conversation with Nomu Yelar, or do you go to your own table?
No, he'll continue. So I hear you're looking for the elixir of life.
You heard right.
May I ask what that's for?
Why you want to know?
A little curious.
I have some business, and I need it.
Oh, what kind of business?
Helping a friend, so to speak.
Hmm. So to speak, as in your friend's no longer with you?
Sure. We parted ways. One group for one way, and me for the elixir.
Oh, so no one in your friend hasn't died, or he just went away?
I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, I see. I see why you need that elixir. It's kind of dangerous to go by yourself.
It's worth it.
Hmm. So, just little old you, no one else?
I'm all that's needed, unless you want to come.
I mean, I lost a friend once too. I would have done the same thing if I could had a chance to give him back.
I see we see eye to eye then.
Yeah,
Then let's head south.
I think I shall do that. I was getting kind of bored in here anyway.
What were you doing here anyway?
Oh, just looking for adventure, just letting the wind carry me.
You're too
Like
heavy for the wind.
it it's a metaphor.
How's that taste?
I've never been where were you from again?
Bracana.
I've never been to Bracana, but is it kind of no one hardly lives out there? I'm sorry, what?
Oh, they got me. I'm sorry. Oh, they got me.
No, it's a thriving nation. City.
I mean, I'm from
Yes?
Darkfin Marshes.
I lost my train of thought.
The Darkfin Marshes,
Yeah.
where you're from.
I'm from the Darkfin Marshes, and I was shunned from my village, but I thought I didn't know anything. But surprise, surprise, learn something new every day.
Hey, no one is smart. All right? No one is very intelligent.
I didn't mean it by that. I'm just saying that. Well,
So what if you eaten one kobold? So what?
What? Excuse me?
What?
You don't eat kobolds.
I did eat a kobold.
I hope not, because they do talk, and they're like people like me.
They do taste good, though.
What?
What?
Excuse me?
I said let's go south.
You don't eat kobolds.
Right, yes, yes.
Hey, I'm serious now.
Yes.
You do not eat kobolds.
Oh, yeah, I hear you loud and clear. Yes.
Because
He
I'll
stands.
hey, no, I'm not done talking to you.
We should probably get going before it gets dark.
No, we need to talk about
The door
this
is that
now.
way.
Hey, you do not eat kobolds.
He flips his cloak and walks away like M. Bison.
Better be careful. Yelar gonna cycle crush you from behind.
We're not done with this conversation.
Catch up.
As that happens, the dwarf comes by. Oh, seems like your friends walked out on you there. I can make the coffee to go if you'd like.
Please, because after what I just heard, he needs supervision. Apparently, this cat eats kobolds.
What you say?
You heard right.
Kobolds?
Yeah,
That's disgusting.
exactly. What kind of sick kind of person eats sentient beings?
Not I. I didn't know he did that. No wonder he was eating the meat like that.
Yeah, I think I definitely need to go with this cat.
I think so too. There are some kobolds in town. Don't let them eat no kobolds now. Those kobolds are nice in town. They're not.
Oh,
They're very sophisticated now.
I'll get, yeah, please hurry with that coffee.
He quickly grabs you to go cup for the coffee, and he gives it to you. That'll be 1 gold, good sir.
He gives them two.
Oh,
And
thank you. Well, good luck on your travels, and I hope you are able to keep that tequila in check.
yes, I'll need all the help I can get.
No wonder his name is Nomu the Monstrous. He's out here eating kobolds and
He's
shit.
a monster.
He is a monster. Nomu the Monstrous is making way more sense now.
Talking shit.
Cat, wait up.
He's outside sneezing.
You're able to step outside the tavern and you see Nomu walking south towards the main road. And as you catch up to Nomu, Yelar, again, you're in the town of Riverhall, which is along the border. So, do either one of you try and gather any other information, or are you just going to make your way out of Riverhall, heading south?
Oh, Yalar's trying to finish that conversation.
Okay, all right. So, you catch up to Nomu. What do you do?
You know there are kobolds here, you know.
Yeah, I saw a family just a few moments ago. We should probably get a horse.
No, do not eat them.
The horse?
That too.
What's wrong with a horse?
I mean, if you're desperate, I could see you eating a horse, but kobolds, they talk. They speak dragonoid, or whatever y'all that language is.
Draconic?
Yes.
Yeah, I speak it too.
But and you ate the kobolds?
You weren't speaking it.
Oh my God. By the God.
It's not as bad as you think. It was actually quite good.
In the name of the Hatatic.
I'll share it with you next time.
No, I'll tell you this right now. If you ever eat a kobold in front of me, I will do to you what I did to the ones that ate my friend.
The Riddler?
No, my friend was eaten a long time ago. That's why I was shunned from my village. From monsters. I hope you are not a monster there, sir. Is this friend a monster? This friend eat kobolds?
He's a halfling.
What? Don't tell me you ate the halfling, did you?
Why would I eat my own friend?
I don't
I'm
know.
not a monster.
You eat kobolds?
I hunt monster.
You eat kobolds?
I
What
had
else have
one.
you eaten?
Well, there's land shark. There's
Okay.
His mouth's starting to water again.
We should probably go see about that horse. I kind of want to mount. Unless you want to
Okay.
leg it.
I mean, I don't know. I think I need to watch you.
Yes, sure.
Just
Where's the stables?
promise me you're not going to eat the horse or any kobolds before we go.
Oh, yeah, sure.
That doesn't sound like a promise to me.
Yeah, I gotcha. Understood. It's a good day.
Oh, this must be a test.
He said this must be a test.
Let's go find some horses.
It's gonna look for the stables.
All right. You're able to find the stables. There is a stable, and there's a half orc standing outside tending to one of the horses of the stable. He's, just wearing some normal citizen clothing, some peasant clothing, nothing fancy or anything. He's working the stable, so he doesn't want to wear anything fancy there anyways. But as he's tending to one of the horses outside, he looks over and sees the two of you walking. Hey, what can I do for you?
Ah, well met. I'm looking for some mounts.
Are you looking to buy one or rent one?
Yeah, to rent.
I wouldn't rent to this guy.
Why not?
You know why.
I'm good for it. I'm Captain Go, you know.
It looks like it's just only cat.
The coal's around.
Around where?
The horses. How much?
If you're looking to rent, how long you renting for?
Okay, how about buying?
Well, buying's gonna be a lot more expensive, good sir. Depends on the type of horse. You looking for a working type? You looking for one that's fast? What you looking for?
A courser. So something fast.
Hmm. Very well. Well, we have right now 5 horses that are meant for traveling purposes, particularly fast ones, and we have 3 in stock that are meant for working. But for the fast type of horses, that's going to cost you quite amount of gold, good sir. Let me look at my notes here. Give me one moment here. I'm not the owner of the stable, so I want to make sure I'm reading this right. 1 second here. And he pulls out this notes out of his pockets. And as he's looking through his notes, he looks back at the two of you. Well, one riding horse to buy is going to cost you about 500 gold.
500
Excuse
gold?
me?
Yes, for one.
All right. Yeah, sounds good.
Wait, what?
He starts counting the coin.
How much gold do you have there?
Stay out of my pocket.
Stay out of my pocket.
You trying to rob me?
No, I don't have that much gold.
Oh. How about I pay for your horse? And then you
That's
pay
a-
me back
Okay.
with
Oh.
interest.
This doesn't give you a pass on eating kobolds now.
Yes, sure. You want the horse or not?
Okay.
Yeah, he wants it.
He
How
gives
much
him
interest?
1,000.
Damn. All right.
Slides him 1,000 gold.
All right.
I'm trying to remember how much, because I didn't write that down. As
You
far
definitely
as
don't have 500 gold.
I couldn't remember how much we was
for,
that
for
much it was.
For ease sake, just say you had 100 gold.
Okay.
But yeah, you definitely did not have 500, that's for sure. So you're able to get yourselves 2 horses, 500 each. Now, the horses are standard horses, they're nothing special, but they're just considered a riding horse, and with each has a movement speed of 60 feet.
All right.
The half orc. All right, wait here. I'll go get your horses. Give me 1 minute here. And he goes around and he comes back pulling both horses. Now, unfortunately, you bought the horses. You still have to pay, or at least you have unless you have your own saddles, you have to buy those as well.
Yes,
much
throw in
are-
the saddles.
How much are
Saddles,
those?
the saddles will be 20 gold each.
Oh, I can do that.
Slides him 20.
All right. Well, let me get those saddles for you, boys. The half orc comes up, he comes back, and he installs the saddles on both of the horses' backs, and you both now have a riding horse.
All right. Saddled and bridled.
And I'll let you guys picture or describe however you want your horse to look. That's up to you guys.
I'm rocking Macrucius horse. He got a smoke gray courser with a
Oh.
raven black mane.
Damn. All right, perfect. Well, now that you both have your horses, what do you do?
Let's mount up and ride.
Okay.
He always wanted to say that.
Is Nomu imagining himself riding side by side on horses next to Damien, Ediar, and Isundra?
Absolutely.
The 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
Yep. And that might be a true statement.
Damien riding with his wig as Desiree, flowing.
Yep.
All right, so with you both having your horses, you make your way south out of Riverhall then?
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
All right, perfect. So as the two of you leave Riverhall, as I mentioned, it was about mid-afternoon when you met at the tavern known as the Jagged Clarinet. The two of you are on the main. You follow the main roads. I'm assuming you follow the main road south towards the border, the gates. The two of you eventually come across several soldiers, Londe soldiers, that is, that are guarding the gates going into Osia and so forth. And there are a couple of, wooden towers, sentry towers, where there are archers up top, and then there's a wooden gate, and you see a guard holds his hand up. They're all in armor. Halt! Halt now! We're going to have to question you before you leave.
Who is this guy?
We are Londe personnel, military. We don't let people in or out without inspection. We want to make sure you're not confiscating illegal goods, trying to smuggle things in or out of Lande.
Like what?
I don't know. Depends what you have.
What do you want me to have?
Nothing. So you can pass. I'm assuming you wish to pass the gates. Is that correct?
Yes.
Very good. Tell me, are you both adventurers of the Adventurers Guild, or are you merchants? What are you? Simple travelers?
I'm not a member of the Adventure Guild yet, but I was planning to here soon.
I'm part of the
Mm.
Mitch's Guild.
Do you have a badge? Let me see the badge. Paperwork, please.
Here's the badge.
He looks at Nomu's badge. Again, if you are part of the Adventurers Guild, you automatically get a badge that has a magically painted image of your portrait on the badge, as well as your information. And he looks at Nomu's, checks out. All right, Shalonian. Yeah, where's your paperwork?
What do you mean by paperwork?
Your identification to
Oh,
prove who you are.
uh,
Are you from Londe, good sir?
no, I'm from the Darkfen Marshes.
From the Darkfen Marshes. How did you get through the gates to get into Londe without paperwork?
I came through, where was it? Whatever nation was from the east.
I could feel them
Went from
reaching for the
S.
cups.
Yup, he's narrowing his eyes. He's as he's narrowing his eyes, you see him slowly reach into his side. His hand is not resting on his side anymore. His hand is now resting on the pommel of his blade, his
Yup.
sheath sword. Meanwhile, as he's standing there, other guards take notice. They begin to slowly circle around you. Speak up now. What do you mean?
S2N and through the Kimona Plains. I was just traveling, and, letting the wind just carry me as I go.
So you came from the Kurumo Plains
Yeah.
into Londe
Well, to Dorwin.
secretly.
No, from Dorwin to Londe. I
So
mean,
you
I have some papers. I don't know if these are here.
let me see them.
He reaches in the satchel and gives him papers.
He looks at the papers. What kind of nonsense is this? This is a goddamn recipe. He
Oh,
looks over at one of the other soldiers. Those soldiers at the gates between Londe and Dorwin. I knew they were trash. They're letting people in without checking paperwork. How did they let you in from Dorwin? The guards just let you walk through the gates without showing your paperwork.
well, my wizard teacher was following him for a while.
Wizard teacher?
Yes.
What's his name? You see the soldiers up. No, make me a perception check.
You got it. I'm gonna have to step in on this. Oh no.
Oh no! All right, no. With an 8, I mean, average is 10. You don't notice Nomu, the soldiers on the towers. They're now looking down. You don't notice them staring down at you. Yelar does with an 11, but Nomu, you do notice the other two soldiers that are circling around you. They both now have their hands on their pommels. on the handles of their
Mhm.
blades. They
I'm
look
so
a little bit more tense.
you guys are making me nervous. Can you settle down for a second?
Look,
I have a
he's with me.
look. My wizard, he was a half elf named Chad.
Half elf named
He
Chad.
he's he was kicked out of the universities, and he was teaching people wizardry kind of under the table. I mean, it's perfectly legal, but he's just trying to teach people who want to learn magic. He taught me. I was traveling with him, and we went our separate ways after we went to Londe. So
Well,
I
your wizard teacher, aka Chad, is not here with you to show you paperwork.
well, I thought he took care of all that. I
No,
didn't know
we
any.
don't do things here like they do at the gate on the southern or the on the eastern gate of Londe. Obviously, those soldiers there need more discipline. They're failing. We here, however, take our job seriously. He looks at Nomu. Are you with him?
He's with me
Oh,
on an escort south.
interesting then. Well then, if that's the case, you're lucky, Shalonian, that you're with this adventurer for the Adventurers Guild. If it wasn't for his badge, we would be locking you up right now.
Well, can you tell me how to properly uh get the proper paperwork so we don't have this problem again?
Any town or city in Londe, or even other nations, all you need are identification papers. Just go to the nearest, I don't know, Adventurers Guild or whatever government faction is, whatever nation you're a part of. I don't care where you get it. Go somewhere that has this.
But how do I tell them that my who I say I am to get the right paperwork?
I
So,
don't know. That's not my job. You'll get to that point when you get to it. All I'm here is to make sure that you have your paperwork, and you obviously do not. So you're lucky you're with the Dakina here, who happens to be part of the Adventurers Guild and also has Adventurers Guild badge. You won't be coming into Londe, though. Are you trying to come back after your journey south?
well, possibly, I don't know.
Well, you're definitely going to need that paperwork, sir. If you don't have it, you're not coming back into Londe. Considering it that you're leaving Londe, I don't give two shits right now. So get the fuck out of here before I change my mind.
Oh, that's kind of rude, sir. I'm sorry. I was kind of living on my own since I was 4.
All right, cry me a river. Why do I care?
Oh, someone pissed in your Cheerios.
Savage.
I like this guy. Nice.
He steps to the side and he raises a hand as the gates slowly begin to open. Them archers up top, their hands are on them, on them quivers.
Yelar is gonna mumble under his breath.
Asshole.
Yeah, I have a good one.
He waves at the archers, waves at the man that was castigating Yelar.
Hey, he's doing his job.
Oh yeah.
He takes his job seriously.
Don't have to be a dick about it.
He said, I don't care where you get the paper, just go get them. And don't come back either.
He said, I don't know how you get it. That's not my job.
Yup.
So, with the gates slowly opening, you both find yourselves now stepping onto the main road that leads outside of Londe into the territory of Osia. Now, obviously, now that you've crossed the border, you're now in this open field that leads into the distance south, known as the Strider Valley. You can see the mountains on either side of the valley from your current location. Strider Valley is a massive territory. It's not traveled through quickly. So even with horseback, you'll want to be careful, obviously. Having horses puts a bigger target on your back. Obviously, horses are worth something. Oh, well, maybe they're food to the giants. We don't know. So as you leave the gates, you're no longer within the safety of Lande's military. You're now in the open land of Osia. Again, the druids of Osia watch over it, but you're not in the Great Forest at the current moment, and you do know that. Well, actually, you may not. Yelar, make me a history check.
Okay.
Caught up with taverns and caverns, or just needing more Dungeons and Dragons in your life? Why not check out another Geekly Inc. show, Greetings Adventurers? Join Rourke, Screech, Celine, and Chuck on their mishap adventures as they bumble their way through a world where magic is forbidden and an evil emperor needs to be stopped. Will they be able to keep their magic abilities a secret, or will they be discovered and meet a different fate from the emperor? Probably both. But join us to find out. New episodes release every Monday, and episode live streams are every Tuesday at 8:40 p.m. Eastern at twitch.tv/geeklyinc.
Yelar with a 22 will know. Yelar, again, you understand that Osia is protected by the 5 branches of Osia, the 5 different clans or sects of druids. And with that, you know there are mostly druids in the Great Nation, in the Great Forest territories of Osia. Not very many druids in Strider Valley. There are a couple here and there that will oversee Strider Valley to make sure that nothing out of hand is taking place. But for the most part, most druids are neutral. You have many good druids, a couple bad druids, but most druids will be neutral. So they understand Strider Valley is run by the Orinkin and the Giants, and they do what they can, when it's needed. But for the most part, the druids leave Strider Valley to itself. They're more so worried about the forest territories of Osia. So with that being the case, you don't know if you'll come across any druids in the Strider Valley. There's always a chance you will, but you never know. But do you guys just follow the main road south?
Pretty much.
Yep.
Unless Nomu wants to do something else.
He's gonna stick with the main road.
Okay.
All right. So as you guys travel the main road on horseback, you're able to make way much faster than if you were on foot. This journey is still going to take you many, many weeks, even on horseback. Now, Strider Valley is going to be easier to traverse on horseback because there are main roads in the valley that you follow. And the valley, while it does have many trees within the central part of the valley, it's still fairly open compared to the rest of Osia, which the rest of Osia is just a giant fucking forest. Nothing but trees upon trees upon trees. So it's much easier on horseback in Strider Valley. But once you pass Strider Valley, it's going to get a little bit more difficult to travel around Osia on horseback due to you being in forest territory. Now, that's not to say there's not main roads you can take in Osia once you get to the forest territories. But keep in mind, once you reach the heavily forested areas, it might be more difficult to travel on horseback.
Yeah.
But as you follow the road south, I will say a couple of days go by. You've had several days to have conversations amongst each other as you're traveling, get to know each other a little bit better. But it is now about noon. It's been about 5 days since you've been on horseback. You're getting close to technically the entry point of Strider Valley. And as you get there, there's a main road that travels south. And as you're traveling, you come across, make me 2 perception checks.
Got it. Can we roll good this time?
Ooh, not me.
Roll good. There we go.
All right. Yelar with a 5, Nomu with a 22. Yelar, you don't see this quite yet. But as you two are riding your horses on the main road, Nomu, you see a humanoid in the distance. Standing at about 5'3", can't really tell, maybe 5'5". You're still very far from them. And they just seem to be standing there with their back to you, and they're looking far south. There are these broken ruins off to the side of the road, and you can't see much else at your current location other than that humanoid standing in the middle of the road with their back to you. What do you do?
Hey, you see that there?
See what?
That guy.
What guy?
That near the ruins.
What ruin?
That 5, he's blind as fuck.
Somebody just standing there. I was
Oh.
wondering if you saw him.
My eyes ain't that really good. I can't see too far.
Let's give him a wide berth. I
A
don't feel
what?
like conversation.
Give him a what?
Wide berth.
What's that? Like babies?
No,
Okay.
we stay far away from him.
Then why didn't you just say that?
Jesus Christ.
Because I didn't think of it.
Oh, just talk plainly next time. Don't talk all like secretive, like you some secret rogue language or something.
Damien did teach me a couple things.
No, you hung out with a rogue too?
Mm, Damien's a little bit more dirtier than a rogue.
Oh, okay.
I should use his shakedown technique. I need a priest. Let's ride on.
You know what? I'm not even going to pursue that any further.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Gonna keep a nice distance away from whoever that guy is.
So as you grow a little closer to the humanoid, their back is still to you. And now that you're somewhat closer, are you still on the main road or are you trying to go off road a little bit?
What do you want to do?
I don't want to get off this path.
Well, we stick to the path. Don't worry, he'll move.
I mean, I don't know why you're afraid of someone that's 5'3".
I ain't afraid of him.
You want to sit there and give him a wide berth?
I don't know what he's doing.
I mean, he's not even facing us. So I don't know why you're such a scaredy cat.
Yeah.
So as you both get closer, how close do you get? Like within 30 feet on horseback, within 20 feet?
I guess 20 feet.
All right. So as you both make me 2 new perception rolls.
Get it. No.
That one.
Oh, we are paying no attention.
A 9 and a 3. Okay. So because you both rolled under a 10, there's something you miss out on. When you get closer to this individual, again, their back is to you. What you do see is they stand at about 5'3" to 5'4". Again, their back's to humanoid. You can't necessarily tell with a 9 and a 3 what race they currently are. You do see, though, that this person is wearing what looks like to be a black and white veil over their head. And underneath the veil, you don't necessarily see the color of their hair or what they look like. But on the chest and the back, they are wearing a thin breastplate that protects their main torso body. And under the breastplate, you do notice that the clothing that this individual is wearing seems to be similar to that of what a nun would wear. So the back of the head is like a nun's veil, and then a nun outfit underneath this breastplate. On the side of the individual's waist, you notice there is a flail that is attached to their belt. Now, again, think of a typical nun, except this is a battle cleric. So this person is definitely just not a standard nun by any means based off the attire, but they have weaponry. They have a flail, and they also have a longsword attached to the other side of their hip. And because you both rolled terribly low, 9 and a 3, there was something you both miss out on. Just as you get closer, you see something floating in the air that has a golden aura to it. It looked humanoid, but you can't tell with a perception of a 9 and below. But as you get closer, that image, aura, that golden aura, vanishes right away. And this person has their arms folded, and you just hear this female's voice talking to herself, muttering, and she seems to be incredibly annoyed and stressed and just worked up. Her right foot is tapping the ground pretty violently and aggressively as she seems to be hunched over, thinking hard. She doesn't notice the two of you are behind her. but because you both rolled a 9 and a 3, you can't hear what she's mumbling. You just hear
Excuse me, ma'am.
as you speak out. Yelar, the person, does not respond to you. She seems to still be mumbling to herself.
Madam, sister, whatever your title is.
She still has her arms folded over her chest, back still to both of you, and she just goes, I can't believe this. How am I gonna get through this? The goddess supreme is not gonna be happy with me. What would you do, the goddess? What would the goddess do? What would I do? Oh my goodness, what am I gonna do?
Yalar
there's
gets
four
off
of
the
them.
horse and will tap the nun on her shoulder.
As you tap the nun on her shoulder, she quickly she jumps up. She's not she's not frightened by you by any means, but make me a insight check.
An 8.
All right, you can't tell really what she's feeling, but she jumps up momentarily when you tap her, and she quickly turns around and she glares at you with these dark blue eyes, and she quickly grabs. Is Yalar wearing like a shirt, a robe, or
Just
what?
a cloak.
Okay. She quickly grabs your cloak with both of her hands. You can see in her hand she's wearing gauntlets. She is definitely a battle cleric of some kind. And as soon as she turns around to grab your cloak, you see she has these short elven-like ears, which makes you believe she's possibly a half elf. She begins to shake you almost aggressively. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? There's 4 of them. I need to get past them. Who are you? Have you been spying on me?
No, you're just in our way. I was wondering if you could step aside
I
so we can
can't.
get through.
The Supreme Goddess doesn't allow me to step aside. Even if I step aside, there are things in my way that I need to get through there. Those ruins are housing despicable creatures, and we, or I, have to get through there, or the Supreme Goddess is going to be extremely upset with me.
Who's the supreme goddess?
She looks over at Nomu. You don't know who the Supreme Goddess is? It is the one and only goddess, the one higher than the Octadic Divines and the Heptatic Evils combined. It is the only goddess that makes sense. The only one that matters.
He kind of leans back. The horse leans back.
The horse is like, what the fuck?
All right, easy. Anything we can help you with?
But no, we're not
Yes.
helping you.
Why not?
We got our own shit we need to do.
Listen,
Yes.
listen. If you don't help me, then you're not going to get through, because I need to get through these ruins. And these ruins are housing despicable creatures, like I said, ones that the Supreme Goddess looks down upon. Now, you can help me by disposing of those despicable creatures, and the Supreme Goddess will thank you wholeheartedly. And she just
What?
grins at you.
I mean, thank me how?
Yeah, we don't work for free.
Why not? The Supreme Goddess will deliver you mighty boons, perhaps an aura or two, maybe good luck for your future travels.
My
does
luck
that
comes
taste?
with coins.
Well, I'm not gonna pay you to do this because obviously you're looking to go south, just like I am, and all 3 of us are not getting through there with those brutes standing there. Can you not see those brutes? Also, keep it down. They're gonna hear you. She points behind her towards the ruins. Make me perception checks.
21.
Nice.
Oh, both 21.
You both
We-
got 21. So on both sides of the main road, there are these old, decrepit ruins of what used to be perhaps stone buildings at some point, because you see nothing but crumbled walls, broken stone across the floor or across the ground on both sides of the road. You don't notice all the brutes she might be talking about, but you do notice one standing out specifically. And I'm going to reveal the map to your left on the east side of the road since you're traveling south. Where is the reveal? I'll reveal. You do notice there is an incredibly large figure standing there near parts of the ruins. Do you see what I just revealed?
Oh, that boy ugly.
Why'd you
Oof.
put my picture up there?
Oof. He ain't
What
got
you
no neck.
Yeah, exactly. Why did you put my picture up there?
What you see before you, standing incredibly tall, much taller than either one of you, even both of you combined, is a giant,
Mm.
particularly one known as a hill giant. And as it's standing there, its back is to you. It doesn't seem to hear you guys. You're still fairly far away enough where it can't hear you, but it seems to be eating at something that's on the ground. And you can't hear any of the munching or the crunching that it's doing, but it is definitely eating someone or something. You just can't tell because you can't see in front of it because it is it's a large creature. Um, Also with a 21, you do notice there is another one of them. You only see about half their body because they're kind of hidden behind some of these walls to the ruins. But straight ahead, you notice another off the side of the ruins, just standing there. And the nun individual looks back at you. Those decrepit creatures. Do you see what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do see. The way I picture it is we either ride through them or we ride around them.
Do you know what a hill giant likes to eat as one of their most favorite meals?
What's
Cobalt?
that?
What? Cobalt? Maybe, actually. Maybe a kobold. But no, your horses. If you try to run through them, they definitely will throw those giant stone walls, at least the broken parts, at your horse, potentially killing it so they can devour it.
He covers the horse's ear.
Oh, he can hear you. Come on. What's wrong with you?
Nomu, are you a hill giant?
Am I a hill giant?
Are you part hill giant?
I could be.
Mm.
Listen, obviously, you're both trying to travel south, just like I. How about the three of us, with the faith of the Goddess Supreme at our backs, we work together and we destroy them. So we
Who
can both be on our merry way.
who is this goddess supreme anyway? I never
Goddess,
heard of her.
the Goddess Supreme only allows those that she deems worthy to understand and see her. I am one of the most, no, I am the only devoted follower to the Goddess Supreme because I am the chosen one. Do you understand?
Yeah, I don't
Sound like
understand any of that.
I'm sorry, but that kind of sounds like some cult shit to me.
Listen,
No,
Yelar,
it is not a cult. For there to be a cult, you need more than one member. You
I'm
need
not
one
joining
top
you.
dog. I ain't trying to have you join me. I'm trying to have you help me kill these decrepit giants.
Good, because I don't like Kool-Aid.
Yelar, I see a solution with this. She wants us to help. I want her to pay me back. I say, once we deal with this, we tie her up and put her on our horse until she pays us back. She'll travel with us.
What? No, we don't do that.
I do. Damien taught me.
But how are you in an adventure?
So you're an adventurer from the Adventurers Guild. Good. So adventurers are deemed required to help the innocents, which I am also innocent. I am not an adventurer from the Adventurers Guild, but I am well versed in combat and magic. So I understand where my weaknesses lie, and I know that I'm not strong enough to take on all of them by myself. But with the three of us combined,
I,
the
I'm
Supreme
not an
Goddess at our
adventurer.
side,
I'm
Quiet.
I'm not part of that guild.
why don't well, you know what? It doesn't matter because right now we need to pass. I'm not passing without taking care of them, and neither are the two of you. So let's make a deal. The three of us work together, and we all get our merry way. We get to go south to where we need to be. And she just smiles. So how about it? Introductions first before the giants notice us. What are your names? And this is where we're going to end this episode of Taverns and Caverns, Season 3, Path B. Thanks again, everyone, for listening to another episode of Taverns and Caverns. This is your Dungeon Master, HaphazardDM. You can find me on Twitter at HaphazardDM.
This is Robert Jones. I play Nomu the Monstrous.
You can find me on YouTube, Trubone, Trubone.
This is Rodimus. You can find me on Twitter at Rodimus7901 or at Blue Sky at Rodimus83.
All right. Those are our players for this season of Taverns and Caverns, Path B. And don't forget to check out the Taverns and Caverns Patreon for exclusive content that you won't want to miss. Until next time, guys, on Taverns and Caverns, take care.